The original Mortal Kombat on the arcade is a classic. We have the original cast of Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Kano, Sonya, and my personal GOAT, Raiden. Anyway, it's a nice pick up and play type of... Wait, Sonya's kicking my ass! This is only the first fight of the game! The best way to win is to keep your distance and leg sweep as much as you can. My next fight is Sub-Zero, and let me tell you, I hate Sub-Zero mains, but AI Sub-Zero is the worst. The cheap bastard starts around with, of course, a leg sweep, and then decides to slide, and... Bro! Stop! And he starts the next one with, of course, another leg sweep. Now I know why arcades went out of business. They had to make these games hard as hell to take everyone's quarters. Takes me a few times, but I beat Sub-Zero. Scorpion, on the other hand, he gets me locked into the same barrage of punches. I can't lie though, getting him caught one felt great. But he knew what I was doing before he even had a chance to think about it. Would you believe me if I told you he felt easier than Sub-Zero though? Now skipping to some endurance rounds. Oh my god! What kind of Hulkamania vitamins are these two taking? I can barely beat one of these guys once, and they want me to beat both? Twice? There's no way people can beat these guys. As horrible as it sounds, I have to employ the old rewind feature on this game so I can make it to Goro. Eventually I make it through, and hopefully I can whoop on this four-armed freak. Look how much health he takes from me! Yeah, so, rewind and cheese is back. Jumping away is the easiest tactic to use. Keep your distance. I make it to Shanks soon, and fuck this. Even with rewinding, hitting him is hard, let alone dropping his health to nothing. Just an update, I did eventually beat him off screen, and I'm pissed I didn't capture it. But here's my proof from my PlayStation trophy. Now moving on to the Super Nintendo port. Before we say anything, I have to go on the spiel. No blood. There's sweating buckets. This game has all the violence of Mortal Kombat if the fighter signed a workplace safety agreement first. You know there's no violence when the game doesn't even want to register my hits. I just want to make you aware, I was able to beat a good chunk of these ports. This one, however, I couldn't even make it to the third fight. I would show you the fatalities, but trying to pull off a fatality feels like negotiating with customer service.
Please stay on the line. The next uppercut will be available shortly. Your combo is very important to us. Please continue waiting.
I'll leave a video description if you want to see the non-violent fatalities, but I'm done with this game. Maybe the Genesis port will fare better. Ah, the Sega Genesis. When I think Mortal Kombat on console, this is what I think. It's kind of an ugly game. Doesn't look awful, but definitely doesn't look good. And the sound is so butchered, but something about it sounds familiar.
Fight! Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Yeah, let me get a double cheeseburger.
I'm sorry, I can only serve you in combat.
What was that?
I'm sorry, I can only serve you in combat.
Even though it's a visual and auditory downgrade from the arcade, this game actually plays pretty smoothly. The controls are responsive, and I feel like I can actually fight. That already puts it leagues above the Super Nintendo port. This is the closest feeling game to the arcade so far, but I feel like we're only going to go downhill from here. Well, that happened faster than I expected. I want to know what was said in the development meeting. The answer to, can we fit Mortal Kombat on a calculator? Turned out to be yes. The answer to, should we, was also yes, unfortunately. I do find it funny that I was able to win more fights in this game than the Super Nintendo version, though. This game might be shit, but this is shit that you aren't expecting to be good. So shit. I will, however, change the name of this game to Mortal Compromise, because that's the only way to give it any credit. I refuse to believe anybody was able to beat this game, but there's absolutely no way that he beat this game, especially not in 20 minutes. Hell no, bro. Hell no. So let's just sit back and take a watch. Look at that little itty bit of health he had. He had taken out. Another fireball. Oh no, he got flawless. He didn't even get touched. He makes it look effortless. Taking on Sonya. Effortless again. What, bro? Like, how many hours do you have to log into this game? Like, they're not even responsive controls. See, look at that. Another flawless victory. Back-to-back flawless no shot, bro. There's absolutely no way. I've cheated using the rewind feature in some of these gameplays, and this guy's just doing it like it's nothing. We're gonna skip a little bit in the lore here. Probably jump to, like, I don't know. Is this the endurance round? Yeah, it looks like it. I think I skipped a little too far in the lore. Yeah, so Sonya and Liu Kang. No, wait, Sonya and Sub-Zero. There we go. I forgot he's already being Liu Kang. It's so funny that the game is so, like, for its time even outdated, that they couldn't do the stage finisher. So, like, when you uppercut him off the bridge, they don't even have that feature. Alright, we're gonna skip a little bit more in the lore here. Probably where he fights... I want to go to where he fights Goro. And don't mind the activate windows at the bottom. I'm not dealing with that shit. Alright, let's see what happens here. Didn't have enough power to put Goro's lair in this game. Like, dude, how do you make it do all this stuff, all the endurance, and, like, look at him. He's saucing Goro up. Oh, never mind. Oh, there we go. There's no way. I can't, my brain can't fathom this. I was done by, like, the second or third fight because of unresponsive controls. This guy figured it out. Skip a little bit more. Okay, Goro won that time. I mean, we know what happens. He's the completion. You know, he's Nintendo complete. He's, you know, he wins right there. But, like, it's so hard to believe that he actually, like, can do that. There he goes fighting Shang Tsung. Effortless. Yep. Do you understand that I was struggling on both the arcade version and the Genesis version? I don't even want to talk about the Super Nintendo version. I don't understand how that's regarded as one of the best ports of Mortal Kombat. That was the most unresponsive one. I think I was able to land more attacks in this game than in the Super Nintendo edition. But we already talked about that one. That's earlier in this video. But, like, my God. Nintendo, I don't know what you guys did to Mortal Kombat this time around, but god-awful. On to the next one, please. This right here is the definitive handheld version of Mortal Kombat. It looks so much better, and the controls are actually responsive. Playing the Game Gear first makes the Game Boy feel broken. Playing the Game Boy first makes the Game Gear feel like next gen. The graphics are better than the Game Boy, but that's like saying getting hit by a truck is better than getting hit by a train. Yeah, it's better, but that shit still hurts. I actually found myself enjoying this version. I'm able to pull off moves, and when I get hit, it actually feels like it's because of my mistakes. The worst thing about this port is that it's on Game Gear. They couldn't release this on a less selling console if they tried. I spoke too soon. If they couldn't port this game onto the Super Nintendo, what makes them think they could port this on one of the worst selling consoles of all time? Well, viewer, it may surprise you to hear this, but Mortal Kombat on the Sega Master System is better than both Nintendo ports. Whoa, calm down. Don't get me wrong. It looks and it sounds like shit. But this is on a console that had no reason to continue making games. This game runs smoother than the Super Nintendo. The Master System version is like watching the opening act steal the entire show. You'd think this port would have worse input delay than the most powerful console of the time, but it doesn't. It only has 2 buttons, but it plays like it was meant for this console. This one has to be my personal favorite. My only gripe with this game is that Goro is such a pain in the ass. I could only beat him by having more health when the time ran out. Then you get to Shang Tsung, and he's a complete pushover. It only took me 2 tries to beat him. This is the guy that this guy made every kid fear for 30 years. I refuse to believe this is the same character. I know I missed out on a couple of ports, but I could not for the life of me figure out how to get an Amiga emulator to work. But just know it looks like shit. I also don't believe any of us should consider Tiger to be a game. I guess that's what's pretty nice about having the Legacy Collection. For a person who wasn't alive during this time for Mortal Kombat, I get to experience all of these ports except the Master System in one place. If you like the good, the ugly but good, the unplayable, the why bother, and the seriously you need help, then this collection has your taste, and frankly, I'm glad we got it. The biggest shock in this whole thing was the Master System port. Like, sure, it didn't look very good, and it had some clunk because it's 2 buttons, but when you consider that this was an arcade game that was ported poorly on just about everything that wasn't the arcade, and it released on previous generations' hardware, I think it deserves all of our time and respect.